16-2 against Team 1, 16-11, and now 16-10, Mike.
But the last time these two teams met, 1917, paiN took it. That was in a finals. That was in a high-pressure moment, and paiN also then fumbled their map pick. So all I'm saying is history sometimes repeats itself. For Imperial, you're hoping that history is everything they've ever done in their careers. For paiN, you're hoping it's the last tournament you played.
Yeah, I mean, no question, right? And they did also win against 0-0 Nation back on the IEM Road to Rio South America qualifier.
On this map? On this map.
On this map.
They're pretty good at it. And Zevi, I mean, we've seen him step up at various moments. It wasn't a complete picture on Vertigo, but we definitely know that op here on the defensive half, it can sing. Something that we're going to look for. VINI gives a little bit of an audio cue here, and the setup in towards connector is big. The flashbangs are better. Imperial was looking to punish this. They'll get out with a one-for-one trade, but there we go. biguzera catches both, trying to get a little bit curious, and now advantage found for paiN. And the bomb, uh-oh, the bomb's got across. Fallen checking along here. He will be dropped, so the C4's down on the ground. VINI has to come back to get it. Maybe he has access, but chelo's so far away that basically VINI is a solo man, and he's so alone that they don't actually expect him to be in the spot he is. Zevi down for free. Maybe an overlook, but a player out towards Toxic means that this hold is now pretty good for paiN. They've spotted that player. 30 seconds. The rotation's no longer viable, and Skulls gets himself the first. VINI, Clutchmeister so far for Imperial. He's got to do it again. Creeping in towards the site. He's creeping in towards a fight that PKL will take.
No magic that time for VINI, as paiN are going to take that pistol round. Great hold, better trades coming through to ensure that there was never any space for Imperial to work with.
I like that idea from Imperial. I mean, clearly meant to deal with a lot of what paiN try and do here on this pistol round. It was well drawn up, just the execution left something to be desired. Imperial just Glocks in this one. No bomb plant means a single Deeg and a single PT-50 are all they're going to have to show for it. And on the paiN side, 3 SMGs mean a chance to run up early money.
Yeah, they're going to do exactly that here, at least kicking it off with Zevi finding a frag onto Bolts. There's $600 added to his bank account. And, well, Imperial just on Glocks and a lone Deagle in VINI's hand, since he has had the hot hand, it seems.
Zevi takes the space and connector means that they can be relatively comfortable in controlling the rotates. So it's going to be this fountain push. Sort of do or die in this round. And a whole lot of die is the answer here, as biguzera finds 2 and should just about put this round out of reach. Hardzao, give him money is what he's saying. He's hoping for, and he's not quite collecting on the last.
Oh, Fallen.
With the Glock, all right. This man never does know when to say quit. And he'll find another.
Okay. Eventually overloaded, though, by biguzera, but at least P gets a second frag and makes it a little more expensive for paiN going to next round. They're not too worse for the wear, though. Talking about paiN, that previous map, it was Skulls who was popping off the most, 23-19. In fact, the only player with a positive kill-to-death differential at +4, ended up with a top ADR of 87.5 as well. Zevi, who started off pretty well, kind of just quieted down throughout the remainder of Vertigo. Wasn't able to have an impact on that end result. Imperial side, I mean, we talked a lot about Fallen, about Fur, but it was actually chelo. 29-19, Mike, with 107.4 ADR. Man, did he shine. Speak of the devil, here's chelo.
We described him as Brazil's diamond here on the broadcast. I think that was an Elliot turn of phrase. And he's definitely been shining within Imperial. The newest gem in their collection.
Oh, yeah.
Staking point here. You know, diamonds can make the sharpest blades, right? So, what better piece to have as an entry?
Well, he's just going to go hunting around into connector, and still nothing really to speak of for either side, aside from a little bit of damage onto Fallen. Imperial going for a very slow pace here in round number 3. Smoke's going to get tossed from paiN. They've still got enough utility to at least keep them at bay for the next 10 or so seconds. But now it's running dry. 2 flashes and a nade is all that's left. No incendiaries to stop them from going for this late push. Zevi gonna fire away. VINI gets an opener here onto biguzera. Now Zevi, a little isolated on the A site, does manage to take down VINI to get the trade, but Bolts is good all the way over in connector to drop hard Zal. Back and forth we go, and as it stands, it's Imperial that gains the edge thanks to chelo once more. Gets his first 2 frags here, but Skulls comes back, gets chelo, makes it a 1v2. Still possible for him to come back here, but no, Bolts ends him with only 5 HP left in the tank.
A slim margin, but a win nonetheless, and that's all that matters. Early gun round found here for Imperial as they look to make good on that T side of Overpass. That's something we do like to see. Look at that, man. That guy's been a stone-cold killer in the clutch for Imperial. Over on Vertigo, it was his round. Him and Fallen from the A ramp recovering what looked to be an impossible situation. And here he's doing it again. VINI, man, he's never going to be the flashy one. He's always going to be there when you most need it.
Yeah, I mean, not many frags speak of over on Vertigo, but when he did get them, very impactful. That's the important part. It's not the quantity, it's the quality. What, sir?
I'm a VINI stan.
Yeah.
Been a VINI stan for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
Just one of those unsung heroes of the Counter-Strike world. And I mean, even within this team, right? Storylines are all about Fallen and Fur.
Yeah.
The storylines coming into this are all about the new piece of chelo, but it's VINI, man, who always seems to have those moments. The only problem is, at least here on Overpass, you've got Vinferno, right? There's not really a good VINI pun or VINI combination there with Overpass. Voverpass doesn't really work.
No, that doesn't have a nice ring to it.
Ovinpass? Ovinpass? I think that's maybe the best we can do. Overpenny?
No, that's
worse.
No,
yeah.
That's worse.
I don't think we've got something here. We'll need to workshop that and get back to you. No, it doesn't work. I was going to say Fervor Pass.
Just really Fallen Pass, Mike. We got Fallen Pass.
I think I'm just gonna have to leave that one alone for now. But you know what they're not gonna leave alone is the stack of pistols and PKL. PKL's gonna deal some damage. 25 seconds. Imperial does like to run this clock short, but this time it won't be an issue. And that's relief. Because at this point, I think every time the clock ticks below 25 seconds, Imperial fans start to hyperventilate.
No kidding. Well, in that case, they were walking into a stack, so there was reason to be a little bit nervous. But Imperial dealt all the killing blows. Not really fussed at all. And a timeout's going to be called here. Perhaps.
Seems like we got a moment. Yeah, no, something's happening here that they need to sort out. So might just be a minute. Let's see who's got headphones off. Can we discern the issue? Can we crack the code on what's going on? Imperial, they have been so very tenacious throughout this event, throughout this tournament. It's been incredible. They went down early, right? They were looking like this might just be sort of the whimper on the end of an incredible roaring career, but they want to go out with a bang. No whimpers for them. They want to fight right until the very end, and that it just does seem undeniable. Really.
Especially that comeback against Nouns yesterday. That was when we were wondering, okay, is this it? Is it over now? But no.
15-8, and they rallied back.
Unreal.
No moment where they're done. No moment where they're dead.
Absolutely not. You can't count them out of anything. Even a 2v5.
Even a 2v5, as paiN found out.
Oof. Looking at the man who made that possible, VINI. He's going into the lower tunnels now. Still a lot of time left for Imperial to work with here as we get going in round number 5. They've come back after paiN took the first 2 to take 2 of their own, and now they're trying to get their lead on Overpass. Fur pushing out, and you see immediately, I'm not sure if Zevi spotted anyone on a peak, but he is going to fall back here to the A site and support towards short A.
I think they're just trying to change up the look, move into a hold outside of bathrooms, right? So this is actually working a little bit favorably in the timing for Imperial. They're getting a lot of space. PKL's going to come to support this. Question is, there's the catch. VINI is untradeable. There's no one who can really take that space. Bolts will try and move on in, but there's the spot for PKL. He jumps down in towards bank. But now they know. Heavy presence out towards long. These bathroom players are put on high alert. Bolts could catch, though. He wants to go through the smoke. Is anyone watching for this? on the fade. This could be deadly. biguzera needs to figure this out in time, and he's not going to do that. So Bolt makes the big move, but his teammates need to find something, and they've got Zilch, Zippo, Zero, Bolts out of time. His position yielded fruit. 2 big frags, but it just doesn't matter because the bulk of the push could not connect.
Seeing a lot of these late pushes from Imperial onto the sites, and I mean, it has been working for them on occasion, but there's another example of why you need to be careful if you're actually going to go for that. You have to hit everything perfectly, and then Bolts is left on the outside looking in, just having to save the AK. Timeout going to be called here from Imperial, maybe to make some adjustments after that one just went completely by the wayside.
Some time as well for paiN. Talk things over for both sides. It's Fallen just running the show, as we know here for Imperial. All the knowledge gained over that storied career, here's the last chance to put into full impact. Do or die in these next, well, in this game, and in any further maps that may come. Because reminder, if you're just joining us now, winner of this, it's a date with complexity, and only one team of these 3 can make it to the major.
Complexity, waiting for the winner to be determined here.
I'm sure they're watching. That'll be the game to
Absolutely.
wrap up our day. So that'll be the right at the end of this event. Here on the road to Rio, that'll be our destination. Our end stop. And paiN would like to be there. So would Imperial, to be fair.
I think, yeah.
The Battle of Wills, I'd like to be there. I'll probably be watching on a couch somewhere.
Yeah.
But at least for a moment, a much slower round from Imperial. They're taking their time with it. They don't have a lot to work with in terms of util. Many flashes, but precious few other nades. Just a smoke and a molly. So when they go, they're going to go. For now, flashbangs will exert some influence around the map. A boost up here to check towards Toxic. No one should be in vision. And so Imperial may opt to give this up. Or wait. Ooh, info hop. That could have been deadly. They get some confirmation. A poke's going to go back up here for Bolts to try and see if they can't get in. The more time that passes, the more time it feels like Bolts may just find what he seeks.
They're not watching the boost, Mike.
No, certainly not. The monster push is going to go through. Problem is, if they get hemmed in at Monster Tunnel, the boost doesn't really matter. 29 seconds. It's starting to get very short again on time. Here comes the exec. It's all they're going to have. Damage done. Molotov on. chelo, though, finds his entry. And now some doubts have to be asked. There's some questions that need to be answered. Zev connects. Hardzao as well. The hold is good. And it's all okay. 10 seconds doesn't even allow Fallen to attempt this clutch if he wanted to. And he will, fortunately for Imperial, die before the timer expires.
Another round loss with under 25 seconds left, going for that execute. So a tough pill to swallow for Imperial. Looked good at very least when they find that opener, but a fantastic response from paiN. Didn't really expose themselves to boost spot like you were alluding to, Mike, and they were all tucked in out of view. And, well, Imperial couldn't find another frag after that opener. So now they're going to be stuck onto the pistols. Going to be a P250, a Deagle, and everyone else on the low league locks. On paiN, well, their economy's doing pretty well. Not too great because they have taken some casualties in the previous rounds. But still, I mean, you got 2 AKs, 2 A1Ss, an op.
Yeah,
utility might be light. Yeah, exactly. They're completely fine.
Yeah.
And Hardzao's also fine engaging with Fallen. He will take him down. Bigu finds chelo. No fuss, no muss yet. Oh, there we go. A little bit of fuss, yeah. VINI is going to drop biguzera, and that's an upgrade found.
Fur wants to bring some muss in to the equation as well. Got himself a rifle, drops over his pistol for an upgrade. Onto Bolts. With a hand cannon, they ring one more shot and things get interesting. No armor still.
Yeah.
But a little bit of intrigue injected into this round. They're going to bring that intrigue over towards long. PKL. We prefer it stayed pretty mundane. $50 hit the clock. Single smoke, and Imperial will have to make their move. Zevy's going looking. Zevy's going for the check. There's the nade. They're boosted up? What does this boost give you vision on? Farrell all the way back. He can't quite hang on to it, but he was trying to peer around to see if there's a player dumpster. They are going to try again. Okay, let's see if he catches him now. There is somebody there. No, they can't figure it out.
Nope.
All right. Well, an attempt there for Imperial to make something out of realistically a lot of nothing. And Bolsey will stare into nothing. Oblivion, the Void. Fur finds one more, but that's it. A little bit of cost added to the round for paiN to deal with, but a 5th nonetheless.
Yeah, Imperial, the expected result with only the Glocks and a couple of pistol upgrades brought into that round. Looking back on that match you talked about, Mike, on Overpass, where it was paiN coming out with the victory in overtime, Skulls and biguzera were the top frags in that one. They were the ones to look towards at 30 frags and 28 respectively for them, and Skulls with 95 ADR. So perhaps they can play the spoilers again here on Overpass. They already have a 5-2 lead built up on their CT side. So far, Imperial has just taken a little too long on their executes, perhaps too patient on their T side.
A little bit of presence out by the fountain. Player and connector, passive hold outside of B. Normal developments here for Imperial. Nothing too out of the ordinary. At least they've got the util to work with this time. For now. For the moment. Long setup in the A defense. Player by Optimus. I mean, at least for now, paiN's got the posturing, but the bomb's actually going in towards B, and this deep construction control is how they're going to opt to defend it, so there's no one on B side proper.
Yeah.
Rotation can't come through, but Hard's out. He's got no info unless they come through this sewers tunnel. The catch out towards long. This could be huge damage done, not the kill. PKL a little timid on it, so that will keep doubt in his mind that there could be more players here. He'll go forth to find that frag, but the bomb site's been lost. Zevi got back into position, but he couldn't deny the vision. This bomb's going down in a 4-on-5. I mean, this is a great situation for Imperial to operate on. And look at the late playthrough. Connector Fallen is going to come crunching on in. Can he catch Hardzao? Hardzao now looking for it. He's been tipped off, but it doesn't matter. Fallen rips ahead. And this round becomes difficult. Op lost. Bodies are falling by the wayside. paiN caught out. And with another kill going in, the plug's going to get pulled in a moment here. biguzera and PKL, they have to bail out. Imperial down early. But the round's still going their way. Time expiring. This one's over. paiN wanted some parting shots, but they're not going to get them. It's Imperial on for a third.
Yeah, a retake setup for paiN before they even lost a player there on the B site. They just decided to swing more heavily towards A. Perhaps they're figuring that was where the hit was going to come after spotting out Fur, but not at all. I mean, just a great job by Imperial, taking all the space they were given and then hanging on to it in the post plant.
I think maybe a situation where they were expecting to get a little bit more out of Hardzao's position and towards construction, and hoping that they'd be able to catch a frag, but Imperial just avoided the minefield. Avoided the booby traps in that round, artfully dodged them, and found the timing to work entirely in their favor. Fallen as well. I mean, if he doesn't get that kill on construction, it's a very different story.
Exactly.
But the critical piece comes through at the critical time.
Fallen's the one that just took that mine, tore it out of the ground, and threw it by the wayside.
Diffused it.
Yeah.
You know, they train rats to detect mines.
Yeah.
Because they're so light that they don't trigger the pressure plates. So they have.
So they sniff them out?
Yeah, they can sniff mines, and they I don't remember whether they GPS tag them or they have some sort of little thing they can do to tag where a mine is, and then it can be safely removed and diffused. It's pretty incredible.
That's very cool.
Very cool. So maybe they could use that over on the Imperial side, but apparently they've already got a sixth sense for it.
Yeah.
Don't even need them. Don't even need any mine detecting rats. They just, I guess, can smell them out themselves. Sixth sense. Preternatural instincts.
We got those beats bopping away here, Mike.
Oh yeah, back at the club?
Yeah.
Was there ever an era in your life, John, where you were a club goer? I think I know the answer to this, but I'm genuinely curious.
No.
Yeah. I thought I knew that answer. Chelo, he's bringing the beat. He's bringing the bass in this one. And he's bringing some skulls. But it will be Fur to actually bring that one through. Bomb going to be planted. Advantage found for Imperial. And again, with limited economy, with limited weaponry here for paiN, they're going to back away. They don't have the numbers. They want to keep these guns alive into the next. They're out of there. So yeah, no raver, John? That never happened?
I went to a club one time. Exactly one time in my life.
Once?
Yes.
What kind of club?
I don't know. Whatever my friends went to, they just said, I want to go. I'm like, all right, I guess I'll go one time. Couldn't hear what I was saying because the music was so loud. I was screaming at other people just to try and have a conversation.
Okay.
And at the end of the night, I said, I don't want to do this anymore. I prefer to have a conversation without music literally trying to deafen me. So
John came out of the womb fully formed as a curmudgeonly old man.
What?
No, I honestly, that was the expectation. I realized that there was a slim possibility that like 20-year-old John was a raver. And if that were true, I needed to know.
Yeah, nope. I was playing games at a very young age, and I was stuck in front of my computer most of the time, or playing sports.
I'm sure something that much of our audience and much of the players on the server can identify with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Competition. It's all about the competition. But it led them to be in the server with a chance of making the major, and it led you to be casting in the server as well. So hey, served us all well.
Back when I was younger, there wasn't any money to be won, so I just my career ended before I had the chance. If I had just been born 15, 20 years later, Mike?
I'm sure there's a lot of CS players from the early aughts who say the same thing. You gotta be playing for love of the game. Nades in, no one there to receive them. 4 HEs dumped. Looking for that boost up spot. It's not going to be found. Fortunately for paiN, they were not ready to receive the airstrike. But it is, I mean, everything for Imperial stacked outside of B. They've got no presence towards A. If they wanted to work the other side of the map, they'd need to spend a lot of time reestablishing some map control. So it does seem like most likely this will eventually finish with the B take. Still a minute, so there's plenty of time to change up that look. But with Fur not even poking around in towards Fountain, it does seem like it might just telegraph it to us. I'm surprised. No space has been taken from paiN either over on the A site, right? They haven't detected any presence. They haven't moved to get any map control, so they've got no real information. They're still keeping 2 players up. Just now, Zevy's going to go start looking, and he's finding nothing. So we're hitting 40 seconds. Eventually, you might see the rotation through from biguzera, and, well, not yet. 30 seconds going to hit the clock. Imperial. Wow. Imperial playing with fire on this timing, and Fur is just now working his way in towards connector. So this is going to be another Imperial classic where there's 15 seconds on the clock as they're trying to get onto a bomb site. And yep, here we go. Here's the move. Let's see if they can do it. Let's see if they can beat the clock this time. Speed running. And Skulls finds a critical frag that might just buy them enough time. That bomb has to go on now, but no one can deny it. Literally a second to spare, but the bomb plant will succeed. Fallen gets it planted, and PKL is then the next victim. Imperial just want to do it the hard way. No room for mistakes.
Well, when it goes the way you drew it up, it looks like a brilliant decision. But when it doesn't, it just...
If Fallen dies at any point in that, I think they lose the round to the time.
I agree.
That's just, it's so... Wow, it's wild.
Look, it worked.
It worked. It worked, and they make it look so very good, but my goodness, is there no room for mistakes?
Not just good, they made it look easy, which it is not. Oh, goodness. 11 rounds, or excuse me, into the 11th round of play here. 10 have been played. And paiN are relegated down to the Deagles, the CZ, and the 5-7. They are stacking the B site pretty heavily at this point, but some aggressive posturing towards Fountain. Maybe Zevy hoping to pop ahead here.
Kind of got to do something interesting.
Yeah.
They push construction. How's always found that space. He's got a CZ, wants to get a cheeky angle. Maybe play outside of the connected doors. Just tuck under. And Imperial will take their time. This time, establishing map control outside of A. Slowly but surely creeping on through. Fingers on their shift keys and hands on the trigger. .55
seconds left now. Imperial, despite the fact they probably are aware of the fact that paiN are on a pistol.
Right.
They're going slowly again, and Hardzout does punish with a boost into connector. The thing is, Bolts and chelo are even better towards that A site, and now chelo deals the killing blow potentially into this round because the A site's been completely cleared out. Bolts will find one, goes down.
That's a gun.
For skulls, yeah, absolutely. Just take that AK and run.
Time to hide the AK. Got to pick where he wants to hide. But the round will certainly be for Imperial. That's never in doubt. So they pull into the lead here on the T side of Overpass in the second map of the series, already up 1-0. These Imperial players, they are looking to give themselves one more hurdle to overcome. paiN starting to fall a bit by the wayside here, as they're struggling to keep these legends of Brazilian Counter-Strike from the culmination of their careers.
Terrorists win.
Badasky's been talking about it a lot through the weekend. I mean, there's a lot of thinking, and certainly Fallen has made no secret of this, but it seems like things might be coming to a close. Like the story of The Last Dance may be coming to its ending, and they'd like that ending to be at the major itself.
I mean, yeah, oftentimes players talk about, well, their career is going to end soon. They want to call it quits, but then they keep going for a lot longer than people expected. But it seems as though the way Fallen's posturing, that this is clearly the last dance. I mean,
The Last Dance of The Last Dance.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, that was always the idea. That was always the idea. One last hurrah with the old gang, with the old crew. All aimed at this major, at this achievement. And well, they're close. They're close to being on the line. But paiN would only be the first hurdle. Timeout going to come in here. Something's being discussed. Something with chelo, clearly. I don't think we've seen Fallen this animated in a timeout in a while. And it's while Imperial's doing well and leading.
I don't know if the question's been asked yet, but is he considering coaching?
I don't know.
Yeah.
That would be a question for after any potential announcements of changes.
Yeah. No, I just want to know if that's on his mind at all, if he just wants to move away from...
I think Fallen at this point coaches a whole region. I mean, between the academy stuff that he's done, I mean, his various brands and ventures. I think Fallen's already got his hands in a lot of different aspects of the scene.
Definitely. Imperial wants to get their hands on this map, but they're going to have to start winning some more rounds here. And biguzera gets tagged in the leg, down to 19 HP. chelo hot in his heels. Going to continue his trek towards the top of connector. The rest of his squad just holding, trying to find that opening pick. But the damage has already been dealt onto those two paiN players. For hoping that someone's going to push up long, but that's just not going to happen. At least the way paiN's posturing right now. And Imperial once more, burning that time off the clock. They really like to go for this patient play. Wouldn't surprise me to see another 20-second round execute.
VINI's got the Krieg. One of the few players who still loves this gun.
Still a one-shot tap headshot, right?
Yeah.
Extremely accurate.
Just click heads. I mean, so is the AK, but you know.
On first shot? Krieg wins.
We'll see. biguzera going to find himself one as they approach the site. 20 seconds to go. Once again, Imperial leaving it till late. This time, A is the object of their attention. No chance to bail out. No second option. It's do or die here. On towards the site. And PKL is hoping that they'll do a lot of the die-in. Trying to find a gap. The bomb's been planted, and in trying to deny that bomb plant, they lose another casualty. It's starting to fall apart here. Just a little bit. That next kill, though, Skulls hangs on. So important. Leaves it all to Fallen. A flank developing behind him. He has no idea. He has to look forward. And meanwhile, Hardzout is creeping up on the flank. That will be the kill. That will be the round for paiN.
Oh, a nice little recovery from paiN there as Imperial squeezed that bomb plant through with less than 9 seconds left in the round. But paiN are good for the retake. A critical frag comes through in the 3v3 to get that advantage, and afterwards Fallen just gets surrounded, even though I think he would have hit the second shot had he peeked out on the player on site proper. There's just no time to go for both frags. Great shot from Bigu. All right, we're tied up again. Very similar to the first half we saw on Vertigo. back and forth until the very end of it. Fallen going to toss a flashbang in here, expecting somebody to be in playground. In fact, so aggressive to try and take that space that he walks through the Molotov and takes a little more damage. Maybe thought he heard something, but no one is home. Chelo going around the corner. Ooh, timing. biguzera chooses to back off instead of taking that fight.
Utility's coming over. That's tipping them off just a little bit. But paiN, at least for now, aren't flinching too much. Miguel will work his way tucked in by the planter. Does he want to go for this fight? He wants to be ground. He wants to take the initiative. Getting closer and closer by the moment. And this could be the key position. This could be the key piece. Sevi's come in to support. Maybe a flashbang thrown over for this check. No, it's actually just a back PKL off of it. That doesn't slow Imperial down, to be fair.
Yeah.
Giving up the ground, paiN knowing that once again, this is going to come down to the wire, most likely. With more utility in the bathrooms, that'll keep PKL and Zevi close at hand. They don't want to rotate off. I say that. Zevi's down into heaven. They seem to be reading this as a bit of a fake. More util being dumped. And it's not a fake, not at all. VINI now through the smoke. Now they're moving in. But the rotation needs to be on, and PKL has to hold the line. It's good for the first. That should allow Zevi back into some angles. And Zevi won't be able to connect just yet. But 14 seconds. Once again, the clock's such an issue here. And PKL's position, he's dug out. But the bomb drop means this round's over. Bolts isn't even near the site. He was holding for rotations. He was holding for the lurk, and that doesn't work. They can't get the bomb down. So critical rounds coming through here for paiN. They've been let back into a bit of control here of this half, and Imperial slow style catching up. But into the next round we go here.
Yeah, no, sorry. I got cut out there for a second, Mike. But what I was going to say was, usually when you're going for that slower style of play, it's against an aggressive opponent, which paiN can be on their CT side. And you saw paiN thinking about it. They wanted to push up long, but that's exactly what Imperial wants to happen so they can get that opening frag and then trigger a quicker execute. The thing is, it's just not happening at all. So they have to take the initiative. Finally, they're going to, but paiN has the answer. Hards out and biguzera are going to get the frags, give their team the man advantage, and Imperial, well, they're going to reset and take their time, readjust here. See where they want to end up, as Fallen is still hanging around in construction. He's looking for a boost to come through, an info hop that he can punish. Here comes biguzera. Can't keep the leash on him for too long. He's finally pushing up, and he will punish VINI. 4v2 in favor of paiN. Bolts and Fallen are grouped up here towards the B site, so an execute is possible, and they still have a lot of time on the clock to get it done.
I mean, by their standards, this is neon. But it is a 2v4, so it's a rather tough situation to make this happen. A bomb's now been dropped, and so is Fallen. Bolts remains. And this would be a round to end all rounds if Bolts could somehow bring this through. For now, it seems like he may just hang out. Seeing if they're going to get aggressive, seeing if they're going to give him a kill back through, but that doesn't seem to be a likely possibility. paiN have not been eager on these hunts. With Bolts backing away, I'm going to go ahead and say this turns into a T-side save. He has not really been one to take the initiative necessarily. He's there for the cleanup crew. And, well, with initiative no longer being a possibility, it'll be 8 rounds on for paiN.
So paiN will be taking this first half. It's been very back and forth up until the last little bit.
Counter-terrorists win.
paiN finally finding a little bit of momentum. And Imperial's slow pace of play catching up to them, as paiN are now expecting them to execute at the 20-second mark.
Now, looking back at Overpass, the last time this occurred, it was a 9-6 half in the first for paiN. That then saw an overtime game. So a little bit of history repeating itself here, perhaps.
Not
we'll see if they
yet.
can salt away this last.
Not 9 yet. 15th and final round of play in this first half. Imperial, a little lighter on the buy. They got 3 pistols, an AK, and a Galil. And they're already going to take this space up playground. Perhaps we're finally going to see a quicker execute coming through from Imperial because the utility is a lot lighter. They don't have the luxury of faking anything. Now just jumping over long bathrooms. Here they come. A full minute and 23 seconds, and Imperial are going to make their move. Biguzera has the answer for 2. Bolts trades him out, but this is a lot tougher for Imperial now as Bolts is going to drop by the wayside. The Molotov finishing him off. Miguel with 2, only falling left, and he manages to get 2 of his own. 22 HP, still has to deal with Skulls and Miguel, and won't, Mike. That's going to be the half. 9-6 in favor of paiN as we head to the break.
Well, Imperial seemed determined to squeeze every possible second out of that first half, but now that paiN are on the attacking side, we'll see if a bit more pace can come to play. 10 Brazilian players across 3 teams have already secured their spots at the Rio Major, and now 5 more will look to book their chance to join them, their chance to contest complexity, to join that crowd.
One way or another, there will be a Brazilian team competing for a chance at the major. Who will it be? A very standard affair, I would say, in that first half in terms of scoreline. 9 for CT side and 6 for T side. So Imperial now jumping over on the defensive end, and biguzera, the opening salvo has been fired, and it connects.
Talk
for the
about
first
taking
frag.
initiative. That's 15th kill on the board for biguzera, as he had a very solid first half of play. Bigu and PKL, two of the very experienced names on this team, have been leading the charge, but it might be up to the young guns to wake up here and give them the firepower they need to go over the edge. Chelo under pressure. He's got support, but fallen one and done, and Chelo joins him. So there we go. Bomb going to be planted, and VINI on the flank may be the key to making this round interesting for Imperial. He's being held for, but that doesn't matter.
Wow.
They won't keep him out. This bouncer's not keeping him out of the club, and VINI right now rocking 2 dualies, is looking to make his own beat and hammer it into the skulls of his opponents. Another kill found for VINI. Stepping up here. Bolts now will need to get activated off of the space that VINI has created. They're trying to provide a 1-2 punch, flanking either side of the map, and Bolt makes good. The defuse is on VINI. 3 huge kills to drag that one back in favor of Imperial.
Seems like when they need an individual performance that VINI is there to provide it, and he's all smiles after using the dualies to get the 3K. Just so many bullets available to you in a 1v1 engagement like that. You just need to spam away at the head, and eventually it will connect. So Imperial find the pistol round, although it looks so good for paiN, right? Post-plant had the numbers, but VINI just continued to chip away. And it was really well played, in fact, by Bolts and VINI, because Bolts gets the information on the truck player. He's able to distract him while VINI goes for long. So Imperial, 2 rounds away from tying this one up, and they just need to convert here off of that pistol. I say just, but it's a long road ahead, because paiN are going to go for a decent investment here. It's going to be an AK, 3 deagles, and the P250. Fallen. Ooh, misses his shot, and now it's tagged down to 74. paiN going to gain the space here. Pretty sure they'll have a more torrid pace, I would say, to their T side than Imperial.
Look at his posturing for Imperial. There's so much expecting this to come towards B. Right? Firm might be able to rotate to support up pretty quickly, but at the end of the day, it's going to be about Fallen, and he's got the one gun that's maybe most vulnerable to being overwhelmed by pistols. Now Fur goes down for nothing. They need to bring a second player up to support. Chelo will start to do so, and paiN, at least, will give the time for him to get into position.
They
so
spotted
Imperial to
Fallen.
get a chance. Fallen's going forward, but he collects. Takes the initiative. He's got a second as well. Fallen looking so polished on his scope swings. The bomb, that will go down. He can't deny that. Are they going to try and plant in his face?
Yeah.
That would be risky. No, just going for a little look-see. They'll think better of it. The boost stop
Wow.
is perfect. Fallen maybe lining up his shot through the dice. But in the meantime, he gets his bell rung. Now a 3-on-3 in the post. Some guns available. Big, who still has that AK in reserve. It's all the way back in bathrooms. He'll just try and keep them off the defuse as a result. And the smoke's already going to go in. They have a kit? They don't have a kit?
No.
It's going
10
to need
seconds.
10-second defuse. They're just now
They're
getting on.
stick it.
The stick is definitely going through. biguzera, is he ready for the check? No, it doesn't matter. They're all dead, so hey, no problem. 10 seconds, 5 seconds, whatever it is, a defuse is always going to be clean when your teammates keep their bullets off your back.
Yeah, and I'm not even sure paiN was aware of the fact that that defuse was being stuck, because they were so busy dealing with the other 2 players. And, well, at the end of the day, Imperial, like you mentioned, Mike, just takes care of business with the guns. Fallen, spotting him is only half the battle. And PKL, that's a wicked shot, honestly. I think that might have just been his own initiative, saying, okay, he's planting the bomb, jump on his head, have a peek. Okay, nice headshot with the deagle. But at the end of the day, it is just a parting gift, because Imperial are able to secure the round. All right, biguzera going to toss a flash here. They're trying to go for aggressive control. Found him, but a perfect flash thrown by Fallen for himself leads to the opening frag being found by him. 5v4, just like that for Imperial. And once you find it, well, just go back to those bomb sites. No reason to aggress much further. Fallen, holding from short A, tucked around the corner, might end up in the bathrooms here, as Hardzal will be flashed out. Always have to worry about falling on A here, and there he goes again. PKL drops, second frag found, and a smoke toss that guides his positioning. Could even have someone coming from long bathrooms. For example, could come in on a flank here.
Yeah, he's looking to develop it. They're not necessarily watching for this space. paiN maintaining that slower pace. First, actually going to go the long way around. He's looking to keep moving here, to keep them out of long.
Yeah.
So his position will be key in the end, but it's up to his teammates to hold the line in the meantime. He can't get activated quickly. Hail of utility going both ways, and an opener for Zevi might just propel them towards a bomb plant. Fallen dancing around the dice. He wants to roll these, and he will connect, but Zhao is positioned for the trade. It's getting so very messy, and now first position could be key. It's down to the 2v2, but there's Fur activated, leaving Skulls all on his lonesome. The bomb planted, and a chance to clutch. A chance for glory! Skulls on the first. Now Fur to find his position known. He's creeping forward. Skulls dancing with time, dancing with phantoms, dancing with shadows, and one more bullet was all he needed, but the savvy vet of Fur still keeps control.
So close for paiN, but they cannot close it out. They keep the economy very much in check on the Imperial side, but the scoreline is the important part right now, and it is tied up. paiN will be able to invest here as well. Man, Fallen, I think he was aiming for hard Zhao on the shot at the dice box. Ended up with Zevi instead.
Nice consolation prize.
Yeah, but either way, look, great job by Fur in the clutch. Skulls almost is able to pull it off, but just enough HP for Fur to survive. Here we go, though. The rifles are out pretty much on both sides. Chelo settling for the SMG. And Fur, after tossing a little bit of util towards that aggressive position at Fountain, decides to fall off. Just wanted some information. Didn't find it.
A moment taken in this round. Starting to feel reminiscent of the first half here.
Yeah, a little bit.
Some of these early times where everyone's just sitting. It feels like they're holding their breath, and I'd imagine some fans are watching at home. 9-9, all tied up, but with the guns now out for paiN, they look to reassert themselves. Their lead may have slipped. We'll see if they can regain. PKL certainly can't. Fallen this time takes the initiative. There's been a lot of passive opping here towards A. This time Fallen goes looking, and he collects. So into B they go. VINI and chelo here in the defense. Not a ton of util for it. A single HE is it. So once the take comes in, this could get difficult, and look at the posturing over at A. The rotation will be a bit slow, a bit hampered, and if paiN just executes, they should have a prime opportunity to get a bomb plant. That's the big kill to find. VINI even getting one out of that position is huge. Chelo can't do the same. Bomb going down. A 3-on-3 in the post, but not a ton of utility for the CT side. They need to get some picks early.
I mean, if they don't find one right now, they might just pull the plug immediately, and there you go. They're already backing off, realizing that these guns are more important than trying to go for a retake with only a smoke in hand. Thing is, there wasn't much util on paiN's side either, so could have been a chance for Imperial, but I think they're making the right call. Keep these guns up for the next one.
It's a long battle.
It's too close to need to go for a risk like that.
And the CT side is tough to maintain, so your first loss of the second half will see paiN be the first team to reach the double digits. They'll hang on to the lead for the moment. They want to make things interesting. They want a third. Nuke will be our third if we get to it, if I'm not mistaken.
And that is a very good map for paiN, Mike.
It's a very interesting one.
Their bread and butter.
It was also a match that they met up on in Melbourne. That time I believe it went to Imperial, but
yes.
A lot of history involved. History between these two teams, history in the server, and history of the game personified in the players of Imperial.
Oh, information spotted out there by chelo. He's got a panel spam. As a result, connects on a little bit of damage towards Skulls, but yeah, quite a heavy stack indeed here towards the B site. Mike Fallen going for a peek, could be his undoing. No! He flicks around, managed to survive. A flashbang comes through, but he is still able to ring off another shot should he need to do so. 1:21 on the clock, and paiN are going for a very quick hit. There's Fallen striking again, looking for the third, but can't just find it there. Zevi strikes back for 2, but Bolts will settle him down. Only Hardzao left, and the quick hit onto B is denied by Imperial.
At the very least, Hardzao has some time to work with here, but that's about all you can say. He may have just been spotted by that info hop. Now alone, he'll try and isolate some duels, isolate some fights, get his team back into it. Hardzao getting his path through Monster. Smoke making no secret of that, but the first fight found at the very least. He'll make it costly. Problem is, one more bullet will do him in. A Molotov to provide a bit of a carpet to get closer towards that bomb. Try and retrieve it, dancing around the pillar. Can't even risk taking his own molly, and the bullets will find him. The double swing, good for Imperial. They tied the scoreline up once more. An immediate response to the one-round win from paiN.
Yeah, that's going to hurt paiN's economy even further here. It was already struggling. Is tied up 10-10. Yeah, just getting that control early on. Fallen hitting his shots, rotating around to the B side at the perfect time, right?
I mean, it's Fallen again, right? How many times have we talked about him at this event in the big moments when they really need it? Fallen is the one who rolls back the years with that AWP, who shows us the class, the form, the quality he has always had as a player. And it's incredible to see again. I'm sure paiN are a bit stunned by what he's been able to do here in this matchup.
Oh.
But it won't be Bolts to do anything in this round. Trying to make things interesting, and while Bolts got aggressive at the wrong moment. His gun given over. A nice donation for Skulls to find, and maybe a chance to build something into this one.
Perhaps so. I mean, Zevi has the Hero AK as well, so a couple of rifles makes this a lot more interesting for paiN, not to mention, of course, that man advantage. Now paiN rotating around towards the B site. A minute left on the clock.
They have a smoke and a flash now. This could be really interesting. If these get dumped in, there's a chance. They need to get past VINI. He's the gatekeeper, chelo, to help him support. And a timely CT smoke. With the flash, you'd almost imagine they might want to go through this. Passing the guns over, Hardzao and Zevi will port those pieces. And another re-smoke up from the CT side. They're doing a great job of holding them at bay. These are the last smokes burned, though.
There's still
VINI has one
left,
more.
yes.
All right, never mind. They're just going to re-smoke this again. And paiN are going to have to work with so little time. Now they have to go through. Another smoke in. There's just not enough time for this. They'll adjust to construction. That's going to be the answer. It's like, okay, you want to keep smoking Monster? You want to keep smoking Monster? Fine. We'll go construction. Jeez. All right.
14
I guess.
seconds.
Now they go. No time. No margin for error. And VINI with the first on the spray down. Can't get more. Fallen's on the scene. Drops the bomb. That will indeed be it. That'll be the answer. The smokes are the undoing of paiN. They just never get a chance.
Oh, fantastic pacing of the utility from Imperial. Zevi goes down after time. And chelo's making some noise here. Imperial are excited. And why not? With the momentum starting to swing in their favor. Again, masterful pacing of that utility. That comes from experience. Fallen calling the shots every step of the way and hitting them as well with the AWP. This time from Evan rotating around and denying the space to paiN. And in that case, you know, we saw in the first half, right, Imperial wanted to wait to the 20-second mark. It was in their control. paiN did not want to wait that long. It was forced upon them by that smoke and utility usage.
Imperial playing to the beat of their drum. And making you dance along with it.
Oh, yeah.
So it does feel perhaps like paiN are actually running out of some gas here.
Yep.
These last few rounds, it started to look a little dire. They haven't had the oomph. They haven't had the juice. And they won't have a Skulls in this one. Imperial, just a few measly rounds away from knotting up this series. Bolts, I think, did spot a player there.
Yep.
Look at this second. Maybe a little confusion on the peak of the first, but Zevi didn't realize what he found. He'll make up for it. Still advantage for Imperial, and, well, here come the monster smokes. First one deployed. VINI says, don't worry, guys. I've got like 6 more of these. And it seems like they're going to go quick into the construction push. They don't want to just get caught in purgatory forever outside a monster, but they're coming into a triangle of death and destruction. There's a player graffiti. The timing almost was rough, but chelo's there in the nick of time, and that kill puts everybody else on high alert. far into the angle. Everybody's in the right place at the right time. And PKL will be the last to falter. Imperial in full control now.
Wow, Chelo's really making some noise, Mike. More than yesterday, honestly.
He knows how close they are. And I'd imagine, again, we've talked about the mental aspect of things. There's familiarity with the players on the other side for sure. Chelo probably knows some degree of how they think. And we know how big this moment must be for young players like Zevi and Skulls.
Yeah, Chelo's probably played them more than any of the other players in this roster, right? Back in his time with Godsent and 00 Nation. So certainly.
Well, and with MIBR.
Yes, sorry. I got my wires crossed there a little bit with all the Brazilian roster changes, but
there's been a few. But yes, he was on MIBR competing in North America alongside paiN, who are also there. So these players were very familiar.
Yes, absolutely.
Very, very familiar.
One way or another, all three teams are very familiar with paiN, Mike. But Imperial now up 12-10, forcing a timeout to be called on the paiN side. I just want to talk things over. Yes, Mike.
I mean, paiN don't get too many more cracks at this.
No.
Right? They're running up against it. They haven't been able to get anything going consistently here on their T side. They've been very slow. They've been controlled really in tempo the entire way through. Imperial have been able to play what they want to. That ultimate cliche. They've played their game.
Yep.
And it looks good when Imperial get to play the way they want. Okay, here we go. Here's the pace change. paiN getting quick in towards the site. And that means Fallen is once again going to have to answer their call. That shot goes wide. I have more opportunities, but Fur has been collected. That means Fallen might be a bit more insecure. The cavalry is here, though. Chelo on the scene. Fallen gone. It'll need to be Chelo. The man making the noise, the man shouting. Now he's got to make the noise in the server. And yeah, with that bomb down, this becomes tough. paiN can't adjust. They can't bail. They've got to go for this fight on A. They've got to go into the aggression, and they're out of utility really to do so. 2 more smokes. But Chelo creeping up. He wants to give them no time to regain.
That's a really good play from Chelo because the bomb was in the smoke and he wanted to make sure, like you said, that he would close the gap and ensure that that player went down. PKL, perhaps his next victim, gets tagged down to 60 and Chelo is just taking all the space. paiN still has 48 seconds left, but the problem is they don't have the bomb. Now Chelo might want to think about backing off a little bit, but he's just going to grab a Tech 9. And yes, he does indeed take a more passive approach here. Well, look who's pushing up long.
There's
VINI.
only 35 seconds, right? And as VINI takes more and more of that space, the dagger in the back is going to become available to him. He's looking to knock any remaining wind out of their sails. As PKL and biguzera creep forward, there's a timer on this one. They've got to go now. It's not just the 20 seconds on the clock. It's the development of that flank. If Chelo can hold them at bay, that would be enough. He's slowing them down. He's even finding the kill. And, well, they won't need the flank at all. It's the ace for Chelo. He makes the noise in the studio, and now he brings it on the server as well.
Oh my goodness, an awakening for Chelo here in this second half. He's jumped up to second on the scoreboard. I believe actually maybe even first on the scoreboard here. But either way, just some excellent frags from him.
Ooh, one after another. Clinical. And keep in mind the situation. Yes, it looks easy at the end there, but you have to remember he'd lost Fur, he'd lost Fallen. He was coming back in to retake control of that site, and he never let them get close to a bomb plant.
Yep.
A really critical moment. That's one of those rounds that could have gone off the rail and let paiN go back in, and Chelo denies.
They wanted Chelo to be that difference maker when they picked him up, and certainly it hasn't necessarily been the case every single time, but in this series, right here, he's the X factor. He got 29 in the first map. Now he's awoken, gets an ace there to swing things back in Imperial's favor, and everything is starting to go his way, and the opposite for paiN. Only 1 round since the half switch, 7 for Imperial. They're dominating here on their defensive end. And this is why they're so scary to play on Overpass, Mike. You have already Fallen to worry about now with Chelo there as well. Oh boy.
I think it's now also been about 5 rounds. 4 or 5 rounds without a bomb plant either. Which just speaks to how they're being denied. They're being rebuffed from these sites.
There was... Yeah, I think you're right. No, you're right. The last time they won was that bomb plant.
Yep. It's been a while since that 1 round outside of it. Imperial's been asserting themselves. A boost up by the sign. Closing the gap here are paiN. Big kill for PKL a second as well. It's going to be up to Fallen again. The Professor, though, class is in session. And he's got a young opera of Zevi on the other side. All on the skulls. The young gun with only 20 seconds has to make a miracle happen. And he's flanked out and dropped down. 2 rounds are all that stand between Imperial and a date with destiny. One more hurdle to overcome. Just complexity standing past this in their wake, but there's still time for paiN. There's still time for them to make a game of this, but if they're going to do it, it has to happen now.
Oh, you need the biguzeras, the Zevies to wake up here. It's been all their IGLs sitting at the top of the scoreboard right now, and he did try to open that space with 2, but Fallen has just been too much of a handful here at this A site. Almost every single time they go there, he's got 2 frags or more.
The last time out's being spent here. They're discussing what they want to do. They'll have the investment. It won't be perfect. It'll be far from it. It'll be a little bleak in terms of the util. But if they've got one more strat, here's the moment. This is it. Do or die for the hopes of paiN. They have battled back so far. Their form was strong headed into this event. They were coming off of a win in Melbourne. They felt so good about their chances of making it to the major, of getting the chance to play before the home crowd. This remade roster, this rebuilt team, they thought this was their moment, but now they're seeing that spotlight shut off. They're seeing the opportunity elapse, and it may be Imperial left standing at the end of this brawl.
I mean, to be honest, Mike, if Imperial had performed the way we expected to in the opening moments of this road to Rio, they probably would have already been qualified if it went the way we expected. But now paiN has such a tough path. Imagine what a difference it would have made if Imperial was already in the major.
But we can't imagine that scenario.
Now. Exactly.
We've got this one in front of us. This is the scenario we're dealt with. And paiN have precious few opportunities to keep this game close. They've got enough to try and make it happen here, but the utility is going to be dire. They need some kills to work their way, and for now, they spread across the map to try and find those. One in the bathrooms. They'll group towards B. B has been a bit of a tomb for them when they've gone through, but at the very least, it's not VINI holding Monster right now. Problem is, when I say that, you still got to deal with chelo and bolt. It's not exactly an easy task here. But they will come through. Construction going to be their intention. And that could be rough. Caught in a crossfire from the site player and the monster player. This is going to be a real tight pincer to squeeze out of. Here comes the motion. Here comes the utility. Providing a bit of a gap. VINI overwhelmed. Nice. A different look onto this B take and a couple big kills. Do they expect the third? No. Bolt at least will get his, but stepping into the flames, he cues off his position and biguzera capitalizes. The bomb's going down, and this is going to turn into a save.
Yeah, you have to go to the B site after being rebuffed so many times at A, and paiN, all right, around the 30-second mark, charges on forward, and they hit every single one of their targets. A fighting chance from Bolt, but he only gets one before stepping into the fire, which honestly might have been the right play, but unfortunately for him, he ends up being sprayed down to the ground. So, paiN get an 11th, and again, they're hanging in there. At least keeping Imperial off of map and series point.
Three rounds between these two teams.
Now, the thing is, if you're paiN, right, you've gone to A so many times, you finally get something to work over at the B site. Do you just go back to it again towards B, or do you go and attempt A once more to try and, what I would think, would take control more so on their T side and give them a fighting chance here, because they'll finally say, look, A site is not safe. We can punch through Fallen.
I mean, I like the adjustment into their B take. They recognize that there was a heavy hold towards the monster tunnel, so you throw the smoke to section that off. You isolate the player either back graffiti or back sight, and you find that kill.
Yes.
Clear that space out and then fight from it. So the question, I think, more is what's Imperial going to do? They take a timeout here.
Yeah.
Still got plenty of time to work with. It's mostly been paiN trying to find the answers. But I think they're going to change up this B look, and you see VINI's calling it. VINI's talking right now, and that to me says he's the one calling the shots over towards B, right? He's saying, all right, here's how we're going to change up the way we're playing this.
Maybe.
The 2 or 3 of us, we're going to shift some positioning around. Let's see what they do. Let's see how they want to approach this look.
Maybe a heavier lean B?
Perhaps. I mean, it's the same numbers, right? They had in the last one. That wasn't the issue. They had the bodies on site. Just caught off guard by the util. I haven't seen aggression in a while. And so far, it's the toxic position. Bolts have shifted back to the barrels. They've been postured very far forward in the site. This is the change-up. They're playing more in towards water and toxic. And Fur and Connector. He's the one who's going to have to take a bit of the initiative.
He's
Timing on
falling
his
off.
nade. This could be chunky.
Yeah. Nade comes through.
Nah.
No, doesn't connect
shallow.
for any damage. Indeed, just a tad bit shallow. Flashbang going to get tossed by biguzera to try and regain that space up towards short A. But as it stands, nothing yet for paiN. Nor Imperial, of course.
I mean, at this point, right, paiN have exerted some influence over towards the front of A. They've taken control of connector. They know they've got control of the rotations. They've got skulls in position as well. paiN have given themselves options. This is something they haven't necessarily had. It's been a lean one way or another. Now, they've actually got the space to figure out what they have available. The question is, how much do they want to test Fallen's op? Because right now, he is posted on this divider position. He's waiting for someone to come around, someone to just give him a shot.
Yeah.
And it looks like they might want to try the angle.
The thing is, if Fallen had stayed towards long, he might have already had the opening pick because Zevy's worked his way up there, and now he's thinking about, okay, let's have a peek there. Let's see what's going on. Here comes the execute on from paiN with 25 seconds. They've got to move.
They're rotating.
No, they're going to back off
rotating.
to the B site. They're
It's a
hoping
fake.
that Imperial was pulled off of B. The thing is, they still have 2 players there. 17 seconds. Everything has to be perfect, as was the case for Imperial on their late hits. Bolt hits one. Cello
Bomb down.
another.
It's
Bomb
over.
is down. The round could be over. There's still enough
They don't
time to
have time.
recover
They
it.
don't have time.
But now they're going to run.
No!
Maybe.
Oh, half of a second. No time to spare.
They got it.
biguzera will get that bomb planted, but now he has to pull back the clutch. I didn't think he had enough Glock, but he's got
He
at
did.
least a chance. Given over to himself, peering into the fight on heaven. Fallen spots it. Damage being done. He's got biguzera locked in, just trying to get VINI
Great
into the
play.
angle, and there it will be. Map point found. These players on Imperial with careers that span the decades, they just need one more round to carry on to what could be the conclusion, the culmination of their careers.
That's such a great combo, though, at the end. Fallen just peeking back and forth, keeping the attention in his direction with the pistol out, and then leaves his rifler to take care of the rest. And who else but VINI to finish it off? His 3K in the round, contributing in such a big way. He's been so clutch. Only 16 frags on the board, but every single one of those, it feels like, have had so much impact on the overall score here. 4 opportunities for Imperial to face off against Complexity for a chance at making the major.
A chance at history, once again. Some of these names are synonymous with Counter-Strike history. You can't tell the story of the game without them. You certainly can't tell the story of Brazil. They want to participate in that next chapter. Hardzao, though, wants his own name there. A big opening kill found far out of play. Connector emptied out. And now major pressure on the Fallen once again. They're keeping the 3 players stationary on towards B, aware that this hit could come through at any time and that they need these bodies to defend. But the utility doesn't really tell the tale. A 1-for-1 trade. Zevy still up, spots the presence on site. And they are, in fact, going to bring the play towards A, so it's up to Fallen. As it has been so many times through the years, it's up to Fallen here.
Oh,
And he'll find
there
the
it
first.
is.
He's good for 1, looking for another massive clutch to deliver his team around they need. He's backed up to the APC. The bomb can be planted here. They're bringing the
That's such a
pressure
good play.
and getting the altitude. biguzera brings through 1 more. The bomb now planted. And money being what it is, the situation as it is,
Wait.
this flank could be everything. Cello creeping up, bringing it just down to the 2-on-2. The newer names of this roster, Cello and VINI, now is their chance to shine. Now is their chance to deliver. A poke towards long. VINI working his way up through the bank. Now they'll start to condense the angles. It's fence and long to defend. PKL and biguzera on the other side. A spot on the first. Positions now known. Information traded, and with that, PKL will slip away. Time is getting short. There are kits, so that's not the issue, but the kills are. Cello brings through the last. He's down,
No time.
and he's got no time. He has to back away. The round will go the way of paiN. We're not done here on Overpass. Not yet.
a nail biter of a round coming through. It got a lot closer than paiN obviously wanted it to, but in the 2v2, they play it safe, they don't over-aggress, and they end up securing that round. Just a brilliant play to kick it off, honestly, in the 3v2. Or I should say in the 3v3 when Fallen was still standing. biguzera chasing him out before the bomb is planted, and that was the key to the round. 15-12 now. Another timeout being used here by Imperial because why not? They've got them available. So slow things down, talk things over. This round will be a much lighter investment, you'd think. No, they are going to go for it.
All right. All right. The one saved gone. They're risking it. right? You get a situation where you're either going to make it happen in this round or you get another bite at the apple, right? You get one more gun round off of the save before we hit overtime. And, well, this Imperial team, they've been synonymous with it. They managed to keep it from happening on Vertigo. They kept us from going to more. Can they close it out here? In regulation. Can they do what needs to be done? Can they finish off paiN? Knock them out of contention for the hometown major. One more round required. This round, there'll be major limitations. Chelo with the big gun. He looks to make it happen. A boost up here. A cheeky angle, but a smoke to deny him vision. And now we're playing towards connector. Chelo does find it. The Molotov bouncing way too late, so the first pick found. And that might just funnel them in towards B, where VINI rests. This monster of the tunnel. He's just got a Deeg in hand this time, but he's got a comrade close at hand. Fallen and VINI playing together here in the defense. And on this smoke fade, the first shot might determine everything.
VINI.
But VINI will drag that smoke out a bit more. The nade finds damage as well, softens these targets up for the body shots of the Deeg should those come through. And look at this, paiN are completely bunched in, so any bit of information that Imperial gets is going to tip them off to the fact that everybody's here. You're already seeing the third player float down. Chelo's bringing the rifle. They're all going to be in position, and VINI's now got the info. He's now got the spot. Chelo knows he's in the right place. The connection can come. Bolts can start to pinch the edges in, and here comes the hit. They need to succeed. First body found. That's Chelo. That's the AK down, done, and dusted. But these players in water, they're a nuisance. They're a nightmare, and they're a nightmare that Zevi will dispel. All onto Fur. The bomb going down. Fur, no chance to contest this round. paiN will bring it to just a 2-round gap.
Yeah, the force buy doesn't pan out. Even though Chelo gets the opening frag with the AK, paiN are decisive in their hit. Not challenged in the least by anyone else. And a 13th will be found. But that means because Imperial gambled here, going for the force buy, an eco is inevitable in the follow-up round, which means advantage to paiN to bring this the full 30, potentially again.
They came so close before. They came so close. They couldn't find that final round. A chance for redemption here.
8 of the 12 maps played, Mike, for Imperial, they've gone 27 or more rounds here on the road to Rio.
Can't have it any other way.
No.
They need the drama. You need the energy. But the other thing they've done is they've won a few pistol rounds they had no business even being competitive in. So though it's 5 USPs here, paiN cannot exactly breathe easy. This is a team that you can never quite count out. And Zevi, I think, is going to have to deal with the brunt of this. There's not even a flashbang to get around the angle, so it will be tough for them to get past this crosshair, but timing is everything. And he's going looking. Potentially into a bit of a hazard.
Yeah. Well,
Now
5
he hears
players
them. Now
with
he knows.
USPs, yeah. Gets pretty dangerous. Zevi sprays down one, goes down for the count, but Bigu's right there to get a couple more. Thing is, AK's been lost. If I'm Imperial, just keep that AK.
Might be the
that's a
plan.
priority.
That might be the plan. I mean, they've got the money for the next, right? Chelo saving up for that AWP.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the round has basically been lost. The bomb's gone in. paiN have seen this full push. They know where it's coming from. It's now a question of whether the rifle can survive. Found what you were looking for? One kill and a big gun.
Skull should have a kill, speaking of. There, freebie. VINI goes down, and now Bolts, like you said, a mission to survive, and paiN are slowly hunting to try and get that rifle out of his hands. It would boost them quite a bit, even though they should still have a buy-up regardless. This will help in terms of utility.
I will say, if you were going to have one guy to hide the gun, I think Bolts is the hide-and-seek champ of this roster.
Yeah.
He might still get checked. biguzera's close. biguzera working his way around the corner. Timing is everything, and there it is. So no gun save through. It'll be a buy in the next. That won't be an issue. Maybe there'll be limits on the utility. Maybe it won't be perfect. But Imperial do get a chance to close this out. One more round. Here's where paiN stumbled in the last. Here's where they couldn't get over the line, and the last time out for either side will be spent here. Imperial calls that. One more chance to change up the game plan. One more chance to shift the presence, to prep the defense. One more chance for the professor to rally his troops.
Utility advantage in favor of paiN. Full util. 4 AKs. and the op. paiN looking to send this one to overtime and a third map, but Imperial want it to end here. They're looking for that date with complexity. Let's see if they're going to find it here. Round number 30 is underway. Fur going for a quick push, tosses that smoke in front of Fountain, then a flashbang as well. He just wants to make his presence felt here and give paiN a bit of pause, should they choose to push up. But Zevi, well, he's going to be having a look here to see if he can spot out something. And PKL, the same thing. They've already taken control of Playground. The boost is on here. Just want to make sure that party is clear, and in fact it is. Imperial very passive right now, but maybe Fallen's going to change that. He's readjusted himself now on the B site instead of A, perhaps predicting that paiN would prefer to come here given how much of a fight he's put up for them on the other site. And Bolts has pushed up a little bit, clearing out construction.
So much
it is a ton of information gained here.
It's more aggression than we've really seen from Imperial this entire half. They've mostly been content to sit back into the sites, but with Bolts' position now, there's a lot of control. He'll see that door open for sure. That might keep Fallen closer. Now they're out, and Bolts.
Only one?
Only the one. Damage done under the second, and that'll slow paiN down, but they're adjusting. They're coming back in towards B. They're saying with that light presence, with that deep control, you'd imagine the site might be a bit more exposed, and so once again, it will have to be Fallen. And he's already going looking in towards construction. A player on the other side. Hards out his util out. There's the collection. Now he's back anticipating the monster presence.
He's alone.
The rotation on. They're coming through, but there's only 25 seconds here. paiN needs to get in. Fallen's withdrawn. He's safe here. And there's still some utility available for Imperial to punish. The nade could sail over. VINI collected, but the trade is there. Advantage still for Imperial. Zevi and biguzera. They have to do it all. They have to try and fight to keep their team alive, and biguzera goes forward to make that happen. Fallen gone out of the server. Chelo and Fur boosting up to try and find something, anything, but it won't work. And now Chelo's position known. We're getting more. We're going to overtime. We've got another chance for paiN to keep on fighting. It just wouldn't feel right to have an Imperial series conclude without a little bit of overtime. So paiN, they do us justice here.
Yeah.
They want more rounds of Counter-Strike. They don't want their dreams of the Rio Major to end just yet.
Well, the difference is the previous 2 times it was Imperial needing to force overtime in order to come through and have a chance. This time it was paiN rallying together 4 rounds in a row to bring us here. paiN have dreams of a second map, and they want to move on to face off against Complexity, but Imperial have a chance still to end it right here. Let's go.
Let's go indeed. Right off the rip, control going to be taken towards Fountain. A little bit of aggression here, a little bit of space. Fur has slipped into the connector. He's been quiet this map, and we've been expecting him to be a monster after their recent performances, but Overpass, it's not exactly been his cup of tea. Still, John, plenty of time for the Fur monster to reign once more.
Indeed there is, and overtime tends to be a place where he can shine, so maybe those 13 will turn into many more in just a few moments. paiN, again, on a win streak, heading into overtime. 4 rounds in a row were required of them. Now they're looking to make it 5. Keep this T side rolling, and this time they will be testing the A site. Is Fallen here? Yes, he is. He's coming anyway. Rotating around, chelo might not even need his help. He gets 2, finally does go down. PKL with the headshot. Fur, we talked about him. Can he stand out here? And he will at least find hearts out and make it a 4v2. PKL pushing up. Fallen drops him. Only skulls left now in a 4v1 situation. Time on the clock, but bomb not on his back. Nade sails through from Imperial as they want to connect for this final frag and get the lead back in their possession. Flashbang thrown.
Flank
Skulls.
developing. Fur wants the backstab. If Skulls takes too much time here, Fur will just bring this one to a close. Skulls keeps it interesting, but it's not to happen here. Not in the first round of overtime. One of the fundamental laws of Counter-Strike energy and momentum continues to be true. The one round you needed to close comes in the first of OT.
Every single OT we've watched, Mike, that has indeed happened. Unbelievable.
Psychology is everything here.
Oh, man.
But if there's been a team that's been psychologically resilient, not just here, but throughout time, throughout history, if there's one squad that has that championship mentality in their DNA, we know it to be Imperial.
Absolutely.
paiN,
I would say
many players still yet untested.
yes.
They've had their chances. They've certainly made good on it before. And you got to imagine they've got that spice as well, somewhere deep within their souls. But you're talking about some of the most storied names to ever touch a mouse.
Yeah, no question. I mean, paiN has certainly faced their share of adversity on LAN and online, but you're right, it's just no match for what Imperial has done.
Much further back are paiN in the initial brush. Now, as we start to near a minute on the clock, a little run boost to exert some influence out towards long. There's no setup here. But Zevi will take this space. Thank you very much. The op is down on construction. Instead, Fallen's going looking on the other side of the map. So a different look here. Chelo come up towards A, and as they zone out this space, as VINI starts to get in towards the connector, you'd imagine that op's going to rotate before too long. And VINI might just go walkabout. Oh, he's going to go looking. VINI's coming up con. Timing going to be everything, 35 seconds. He might wait for teammates' contact, but the timing is unfortunately not in his favor. Holding for the flank works out. Still, they need to get on towards the site. Now the op is floating up to support. Chelo lost. I mean, it is going to be Fallen and Fur. If there's going to be a chance here for Imperial, it's going to have to be those two to deliver it.
20 seconds left.
Time is such an issue. They've gone towards B. It's bolts instead. The rotation with no time to spare works out beautifully for paiN. They clear out the site. They overwhelm bolts. Even if he'd gotten one there, the trade would likely have been swift. And now the round looks to be fully in their grasp.
That was actually a brilliant rotation from paiN, right? You get 2 early kills towards the A site. You know it needs to be reinforced, and they don't hesitate. They immediately go towards connector, find their way onto the site, and it's only bolts there. Fallen has made a little bit of noise. He's going for this one, but nothing doing.
He was hoping they'd rotate too aggressively in towards the fight, and he'd have a chance to sneak a defuse through. Not a bad bet. Certainly a wily veteran maneuver in that situation, but paiN won't make that catastrophic blunder. Not here. Not when they've done so much to give themselves a chance to keep at it.
Yeah, those 2 first kills, I mean, maybe a little bit of over-aggression from Imperial, but still, I think it's just paiN clearing out their angles extremely well. And then the rotation, even better. So we're tied up here into overtime, and Fallen going for that play because he knew there was enough money available to him into this next round to get the op back up and running. Utility might be a little lighter, but he's not too concerned about that, it seems. Skulls gonna see a grenade blow up right in his face, and he only takes 6 HP of damage. Fallen wants to take the fight to paiN right now. He's got the op zeroed in on the sandbags position, and he's into construction now. Or peering into it at the very least. Boost going to come through. paiN have to be so careful not to make noise here, because if they do, I imagine Fallen's going to peek around and try to punish.
A little bit of maneuvering. But here comes the peek. It's being watched. Doesn't matter. Skull still got it. Quick on that trigger. And now Fallen is going to try and come in to take this advantage back. But PKL is not interested in donating any kills. PKL, the captain of this squad, he's doing it himself. Advantage still found for paiN despite his loss. And this last round of the first half of overtime is looking good for paiN, but at Monster they falter. chelo has caught them. The bomb is stuck. And biguzera, where is he? He's on the other side of the map. He's completely isolated from his teammates, but that might just be their saving grace. They've still got enough time for this rotate. It's going to have to be quick since he's gone around the long way. But biguzera is taking space out towards A. He's finding nothing. And now it's all about Fur. If Fur can find this kill before his teammate gets in the angle, biguzera is isolated. Hardzao just coming to group with him. Now Fur does have it. 20 seconds. Hardzao has to do it all himself. He has some idea where Fur is, but that smoke adds doubt, puts questions in his mind, and Hardzao will commit to the plan, knowing he's got the time, and Fur has no interest in allowing that through. A lead once more for Imperial.
Oh my goodness, that round was trending so well for paiN, and then chelo just comes in and says, I'll take a couple of frags in my direction, thank you very much, and tilts the round right on his head. Afterwards, Fur answers the call over on the A site, and, well, paiN, that is a tough pill to swallow, because they could have walked into this second half of the first OT with the advantage. Instead, it's Imperial 2 rounds away from taking the series, and Zevi tries to go for the quick pick in the lower tunnels. A fantastic start as Fallen is going to peg him.
Fallen has been flexing that experience all map long. He's come out today ready to fight from the word go. And that pick could be what starts the avalanche that determines this map. paiN have gone for a cheeky boost here on construction to try and bring back the advantage. The longer you hold this, the more exposed you are elsewhere. It takes so many resources. 3 players here towards B that A lies open. biguzera will exert some influence out towards long. Hardzao's going up to support him as well. But they will give up this boost. And Imperial, look, we know how they like to play these rounds. It may be another 40 seconds before we actually see the exec come in.
Yeah.
They're just now starting to take some bathrooms control, and paiN may be reading this right. Look at where the presence is.
Yeah, I mean, they got a couple players towards long. Imperial finally going to pick up the bomb here, you have to imagine. Get it on their backs. There we go. Fallen after throwing a flashbang towards long for his teammate. Picks up the bomb. A frag is found, but Fur gets traded out immediately by biguzera. So man advantage remains for Imperial, though.
They're going in. They're going in. The utility's there to provide some space for paiN, and with time being so short, these Molotovs, they could be deadly. They're going to be dumped. They'll deny the bomb plant at least for a moment, allow the rotation to come back up, but biguzera's cleaned out towards long. That's so important for both to get, and now it's all falling apart. Just PKL. Just PKL, and while he will find one, he's down to 4 points of health. Another done there, but a bullet back his way will put him into the grave. Which of these players are going to deliver it? PKL. He's dodging death, at least for the moment, giving up audio cues. He's surrounded into the pincer. into the threat, and Fallen with just a lowly Glock will seal another map point here for Imperial. 2 more tries to put this away. 1 more. Rather. No room for error. No, 2. Counting is hard.
2, yes.
2 chances.
It's okay.
I mean, in that case, why even bother in this next? Take it easy. No, the tension is on for Imperial. It continues to build, but they get a chance to right the wrong of regulation, to put this one away, to book their date with complexity.
Imperial, not too fussed about that Molotov that was thrown for playground. Take a little bit of damage from it, but they defuse it with the smoke, I believe it was. And now Chelo, along with Fur, are going to move out. 3 players leaning in this direction, but as we've seen, Imperial like to take their sweet time on their T side executes. Be very surprised to see that change here, since they're only 1 round away from that said map and series
To
point.
be fair, if they detect no presence out towards long, and that's where they're looking right now, I mean, they could gain a lot of ground before they have to get any contact whatsoever.
Yeah.
biguzera's seen a nade, but that doesn't give enough information to rotate just yet. It could just be a lurker. Speaking of lurkers, Bolts is going to be the late fountain presence. And look at all the ground they've gained, John. If they just keep going, I mean, the red carpet is rolled out. The door is open. The cover fee's been paid. They are being invited straight in towards A. And it's an invitation that it seems like Imperial's going to take. They're finally picking up the pace. It's because they've found nothing to stop them.
Yeah, I guess you're right. They're going to go in. Bolt's going to get the frag onto biguzera. 4 away now from finding victory. Skulls and Zevi trying to deny. Zevi hits a shot onto Fur, makes it a 4v4. He's got a chance to respond once more. Maybe a second. No! VINI shuts him down. 3 players left. Peeking out fighting. He falls as well. It's all up to Skulls here! And he is going to at least get 1 before falling, but only 16 HP, Mike. Can he do it? He can't! Fallen finds it! They are headed to a date with complexity!
Imperial have done it. 1 more hurdle to overcome. They've trod the longest road possible here at IEM Road to Rio. The toughest journey you could imagine, but now they know they stand 1 best of 3 away from a chance to compete in front of the hometown crowd for 1 last time. The Brazilian major...